everybody's been there. We've all been to that point where we think I
think I'm currently at it.
It's quitting time. Yeah,
it's just always there.
Yeah. So I guess we could talk a little bit first about kind of what burnout really feels like when you're optometry school. So, for instance, I think it's definitely changed over the past few years. Like, what exactly is the root of it all?
For sure.
Currently, we're all studying for boards, so I think a lot of it's just coming from the looming pressure of that exam coming up in a couple months, and then having the weight of a giant, enormous textbook in front of us that we have to get through, which literally contains nearly everything that we've ever learned at ICO. So
I can feel it. It's literally in the next room on my desk. Like, I can feel its presence.
Same here.
Yeah.
So, and then, obviously that's quite a bit different than kind of what we all experienced last year or the year before that, and even before starting optometry school. So I don't know if you guys have any personal moments you want to share regarding burnout, or kind of like what you do to get through literally just the day-to-day.
Yeah. I mean, for sure it's true. First year was so different than second year, and then so different than third year. It's crazy how you do go through that burnout, but it's so different in every year. First year was, you're trying to get used to this new thing, That's true. I mean, you thought you kind of knew what burnout was in undergrad, and then you come here and you're like, so that's what that is.
That's a good point.
Now I really understand.
Yeah, 100%. But just when I thought about first year, I thought about just the course load, but there is that adjustment period as well. And we're like 3 years in now, it kind of just feels second nature to just be in optometry school, I guess you could call it. But you do kind of forget about what that adjustment was like. Tay, do you have anything to add?
I completely agree. First year was just getting used to everything and just coming to a new environment. Yeah. For a lot of people coming outside of state, outside from different country. Mm-hmm. But I think it was just like surviving for me. We took 7 classes. Yeah. We took 2 exams a week, and then lab, and there was so much going on. And I think it was just surviving that first year. And same with second year. I think our second year was kind of weird though. We were online,
the COVID year and everything. It was all new struggles.
Yeah. It was, It was like another adjustment period.
Yeah, it really was.
In a way. Yeah. But I think it helped that we'd gotten into a bit of a rhythm in terms of studying and stuff like that.
For sure.
So did you guys have any go-tos for dealing with stress over the past few years?
A lot of tears were shed.
Oh, no. It always,
she's not lying.
Sometimes it helps to get it out.
It really does. I mean, I feel like you also have to find your support system.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing, Kenny's not a stranger to us. We've known him since first year. We all know each other from first year. I mean, you guys, our class is very close. We're all going through the same thing, so it's hard not to get close. Right. But then, you find your close people. Me and Taya are current roommates, and we have been, not first year, but we're right down the hall, and we knew each other. So, if I had a problem, I'd go to her, or she'd come to me. So it's find your group to help just de-stress, because especially talking to your family and other friends, but sometimes it's really nice to talk to someone who's also going through the exact same thing and really understands what you're going through, and just talking it out and de-stressing definitely
I completely
helps.
agree. As much as talking to family helps, I feel like it's something else when you talk to your peers or your classmates, because they know they're going through the exact same thing. I mean, the RC was such a nice place, because literally I would walk down the hall, I would go to Sylwia's room all the time, and we would just be like, what is going on? What are we doing?
Let's figure this out together.
I remember crying in the room so many times. And I'm not even embarrassed to say that.
Hopefully Tay doesn't cry while we're filming this at all. But Tay, you brought up a great point that's, I think, is really unique to ICO specifically. Is so the RC, for anybody who doesn't know, stands for residential complex. Yeah. It's basically a dorm that's right across a street from the school building, and I think a lot of us ended up there during our first year. Just because it was kind of convenient not to have to look for an apartment in the south side of Chicago when you already have so much on your plate. But I think it turned out to be a much better benefit than just that, because and you might think of your experiences when you're in college or undergrad. Living in a dorm sounds kind of chaotic, like everybody's making noise. I'm trying to study or I'm trying to sleep. But you really don't find that to be the case at the RC because you're all on the same exact schedule. So if you have an exam tomorrow, everybody's got an exam tomorrow. And so you're not really going to have to worry about that. But at the same time, that really helped, I think, with the accountability, as well as just having like Tay had mentioned, just somebody like right there and plenty of people right there who know exactly what you're going through. You can all like figure things out together. And, you know, there's a lot of optometry schools at bigger universities and bigger schools, but they don't have that super close-knit kind of community that's, and again, like I said, I think it just kind of spawned out of nowhere, really. Like, I don't think any of us really necessarily thought that that's why we wanted to all live together, but it really worked out. And I think for first year specifically, that really helped with the adjustment.
Right.
Hugely.
And like Sylvia said, just getting to know who you want to be around and finding your group, it was so much easier in the RC.
Yeah. It definitely helps.
Yeah. And I mean, even just like everybody's got free time at the same time too. So.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, it's like, you know, you'd be in your dorm and you're like, oh, what should I do? And then you hear like, you know, like outside the door, you're just like, oh, what's going on? You know, like,
okay, who am I going to hang out with tonight?
Yeah.
Or just, you know, I think the city of Chicago being right there is so much fun if you've got the time for it. You know, during first year, second year, you might be a little bit busy and you might not get to go out as much as you want to. But I don't know about you guys, but I certainly had pretty much zero idea how to navigate the city. And being able to tackle that in a group was so much easier than like, I'm getting on a train, I guess.
Right?
Like,
Someone's like, hey, should we take the red line, green line, pink line? I'm like, what line? There's colors? Like,
once you figure it out though, it's so easy.
Oh yeah.
It's literally
for
just
sure.
Every train goes, and that's another thing that's nice too, is the school itself is about a block away from the green line, which is a north-south running train that goes right up to the loop.
Yep.
And so you walk a block, you get on the train,
and you can get off anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll get to wherever you want to go.
You can get off at Chinatown, get off at South Loop, get off, like I said, right at the loop.
Yeah. You can go even further if you want.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, in the loop, it connects to all the other trains, so you can really get wherever you want going on the trains. And it was so nice to have that, especially in the summer. Because it's like a 5-minute walk, and then you're on the train for like 10 minutes, and then you're wherever you need to be.
Yeah.
And I guess that's something I was thinking about the other night too, is hearing about, you only get the first summer off. You know, you get your summer off after first year, and then you're just in it for another 3 years.
Right.
To be honest, I mean, when I first came to that realization, part of me was kind of like, that sounds horrible.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna deal with this.
It was like adjustment. I went to school for how long, and I've always had a summer off, and now you're telling me I don't.
Absolutely. Like, so in terms of burnout, that was like something that I was worried about really getting to me. And then especially since even the summer that we did get off was quite a bit shorter than your average summer semester.
Yeah.
We're also
just struggling with everything too. Just
just with the way everything was. But circling back a little bit, it was actually a lot better being here in the summer than I expected. You know, most of the year that we were here, first year and second year, was in the middle of the winter, right?
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot you can just easily go out and do. Yeah. And so that's kind of what our mentality, at least for me, my mentality was, this is what being in school in Chicago, like at ICO, is like cold winter studying 24/7. Not even thinking about the fact that like, school in the summer. Yeah. Summer in Chicago.
Right. Yeah.
Not even that bad. It was actually a lot of fun.
No, it was really fun.
I felt like I had a much better school, like fun balance. During that
for
summer
sure.
quarter. Yeah.
I think Chicago's way better in the summer. Are you kidding? There's so much more to do.
And I think that's going to be the case in most cities.
Right.
But I just like, I wasn't really prepared for that, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. We went out to dinner like all the time.
That's true.
The
Trying
river
to find different
walk
things.
and stuff.
I mean, just walks. I know that sounds so lame, but like, it's so beautiful.
Right. You guys
here.
used to go on walks
what was it, that 10
few miles a day?
We went on a 10-mile walk once.
We went on a 10-mile walk once. It's just like the time goes by, and it's just, you know, when you're walking through the city, you don't really realize how much you're walking, and near the lake, and it's just so beautiful. Like, and by ICO, we're saying that we're so close to things, just not even a mile east, you hit a beach.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I know there was a couple times where I went to Taylor, my other roommates at the time, like, hey, you want to just go to the beach? Like, do you want to just sit out there and just look at the water and just like relax a little bit? And it was so easy to do. We would do that. Like, it's just so nice.
And so, you know, maybe it would have been nice to have that summer off and like haven't had no school to do, but certainly it was a lot more fun than I kind of thought it would be.
Yeah,
Definitely.
And then, just getting more exercise for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys used to walk quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
So,
we still do. I mean, it's kind of cold now, but we still do.
It's a little harder to do
for
that
sure.
now. So you guys live in South Loop now, which is it's about how far is it? About
10-minute drive? Yeah.
from the school.
Yeah,
but it's
super
closer,
easy.
not quite in downtown Chicago, like the heart of it.
Yeah.
But that probably made it a lot easier to kind of
yeah.
just get out and do
Definitely.
stuff,
Yeah,
especially in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys found that your stress is a little bit better now that you're not like right next to the school?
Yeah, so I think just being right next. So our first year we were in the RC, and then our second year we got a house with our other roommates. And I think it was nice to get away kind of. I guess our mentality was always we were at school all the time. Even being in the RC or just being a little bit of ways in our house, we were always there at school, always studying with our roommates. And it was nice having everyone there, but it's kind of hard to separate yourself from school.
Yeah.
Being a little bit of ways, even though it's just 10 minutes, it's kind of nice. We're like, okay, we get to go home, we get to relax, we get to cook, we get to just kind of wind down, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
So it has been a shift,
Yeah.
It's been nice.
Have you found it like stressful at all, having to kind of think about like, oh, I gotta drive to school, or I gotta go do this or that, or
In the beginning, maybe, but both me and Taya were actually commuters in undergrad. So it wasn't like a huge adjustment. We actually, you took the train for...
Yeah, I took the train for 4 years. I commuted.
How long was
every
the
single
train
day?
ride?
It was like pretty much like an hour.
It was an
It
hour.
was like an
commute.
hour,
Yeah,
and then I drove about an hour, right?
my
So
God.
I was in my car, but
So
I
we
drove.
were
right?
So
used
10
to
minute
it.
drive.
10-minute drive. We're like, we can do that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, but you do have to get used to it.
Yeah,
And
for
I
sure.
know
You know,
not everyone can do that, but
yeah.
the train is so close. We know a lot of people that commute by bus too.
Yes.
It's so close.
Has the traffic been a problem at all?
No.
Surprisingly
Yeah,
not.
surprisingly
no.
not. I think we're right at the edge, right? So you have the loop and the south loop, and then you kind of more towards the south side, towards like the school. So we're right in the south loop, so we don't have to worry about like loop traffic. And so that's where it gets like kind of hectic, and the highways, and you don't have to go on highway. It's
That's
literally
true, yeah.
just straight down, and so no, we don't have to deal with any traffic.
No, it's not
10
bad.
minutes.
That's true, because you're kind of, I suppose, like probably for most people, like in rush hour, you're probably going against the flow of traffic in the
Exactly.
morning.
Right.
So.
Yeah,
So
no, it's not bad. Maybe
it's
on
definitely-
Michigan a little bit, but
Maybe a little bit, but we
go down
usually,
Clark, it's not
I
bad.
usually just go around Michigan. I
Right,
go on
exactly.
like Clark or State or something,
Yeah.
and I'll be fine.
And a lot of people find themselves living here, like in this area in
Yes.
South Loop, after the RC, if they did live in the RC.
Yeah.
'Cause this, I think, like I said,
Yeah.
I think it's just a great, like, not too far away, not too close, not too
For
busy.
sure,
Right.
for sure. I think first year, if I had to like say like I actually really enjoyed the RC. I wouldn't go
Yes.
back and be like, oh, and move out right away. I think the RC was a huge
Yeah,
thing to
absolutely.
me, where I think it helped me in a huge way in many aspects. So I would definitely, first year was RC. But then, like, second year, third year, if you want to move away, more closer to the city, if you think you can do this commuting, because you do get used to waking up and rolling out of in your pajamas, going to take an exam because it's right across the street, and then literally walking back and jumping into bed right away. Now it's like, oh, you actually have to like get dressed and stuff, but it's really not that bad now. And especially third year, second year a little bit, but third year, a lot of us have clinic, and more of our classes are in the morning anyway.
Right.
So once we get up and we get ready, we have the rest of the day for different things. So
It's a little bit more responsible.
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
it works out.
I guess in terms of burnout, the last thing that I wanted to touch on that kind of like really stood out to me is that you kind of anticipate, and you hear most often, I think, about burnout happening while you're in optometry school, or really any grad program, because obviously you're kind of on this incline in terms of difficulty or just exactly what you're doing. But I think there is a component of burnout that can start before you even come to ICO or an optometry program. I can remember back in maybe my senior year of undergrad, just stressing about like getting the applications done.
Oh my God,
Oh my God.
Studying for the OAT.
Oh, the OAT.
Taking the OAT and then like interviewing and all that. Meanwhile, still in college course, like 4,000, 3,000 level college courses. So one thing that like really, like in hindsight, I would say specifically, really sticks out to me that I'd want to kind of impose on other people is that don't feel like you have to rush getting all that stuff done.
Yeah, it's okay.
At all, you know.
Yeah.
There's really no reason. I mean, we have friends who've taken like gap semesters, gap years, or more.
Yeah, I was gonna say years. Emphasis on the S, and then it's totally fine. Yeah.
And it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't like. I don't think of those people as being old or anything.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
You make jokes every once in a while, but
you can't not. You know.
You guys gotta. You gotta keep it. You gotta keep it light, right? But you guys both came directly from undergrad.
Yes. Yeah, we did.
Without a gap year. What did you think? Do you have any thoughts on that in looking back at that?
Honestly, very stressful in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just the whole application process, just like you said, it was a lot. It was a lot going straight from it. You know, there wasn't any break for us, but maybe we had the summer. But I went back and forth a lot about taking a gap year. Yeah, right.
I did too. Like at first I was actually, my whole plan was to take a gap year. I was like set in my mind because like you said, there's so much. I remember looking at my application and I was like, oh my God, like I have some of it done, but not all of it. And I'm still studying for the OAT. And I like took it like at the last minute, just because I kept pushing it off because I was so scared to take it. You know what I mean? I really was. And
only we could do that with boards.
Yeah, you can't do that now. But you know, I was, and I was like, I'll just study for one more month, and I'll just study for one more month, you know. And so then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a gap year. But my parents were like, no, you've already set your mind to it. You know, get through it, and I did. And I'm here, right? So you know, I made it. But I do know a lot of my friends who took a gap year. I was kind of like a little jealous of them when I was looking at them.
Exactly.
They were like, they're enjoying their last year of undergrad, you know what I mean? And like slowly doing it. And I'm over here like, oh my God.
There is that little bit of like, you feel like you can focus more on what you're doing rather than just constantly thinking about the next 4 years. And then as well, I mean, just having a year completely off or however long, that's a great opportunity to get more experience. If you get a job, you know, working at a practice or even like an optical, anything like that is experience. It's just like more experience you can put under your belt that I'm not going to say, I don't want to say that it would really give you much of an edge when you start school. But I think it does. And I think for a lot of people, it really gave them a level of comfort that some of us who did things at a little bit of a faster pace didn't necessarily have. Not that everybody needs it, but it definitely can. And then as well, you know, if you're feeling like your application might be a little weaker or you would want to put a bigger emphasis on certain things, that's a great way to do that. You know, if you ask any admissions faculty, they're going to tell you the biggest things that they look at are obviously your grades, the courses you took, your OAT score, and then experience. Because experience really speaks volumes for kind of how much you want it. You know what I mean? It's not about like, oh, you're closer to being a doctor, therefore we want you more. It's more about just, like I said, just kind of showing that you're interested in it and that you've done your homework.
You'll quickly realize when you come here, everybody's put on the same exact playing field really fast. You know, like even if you did go get experience and stuff. So both me and Taya actually had some experience beforehand at an optical. And I did really like it, and it made me realize more that this is what I wanted to do. And it did help me in a little bit that when we started some classes, I was a little bit more of aware what they were talking about. But very quickly did I realize that it didn't matter if you really didn't have an experience, you know, because I know some people were worrying when they didn't. They're like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. Really fast, we were all on the same pace.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, for sure. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out this episode of Hindsight. If you haven't already and you're looking for more episodes like this, there's 2 more up on our YouTube page already. We're definitely in the process of making more as well with some new guests, some new topics, so stay tuned for that soon. And then of course, as I've said before, if you have any more questions about optometry school or ICO specifically, definitely check out our website. It's ico.edu.